What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a hot minute since you've seen us, but in today's episode we're going to be building a Cultipacker for food plots, for deer hunting food plots. So I'm going to walk you through the whole steps, but to start I want to get a couple things rolling here. So I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit. What I got going on right now is I've got a 5-foot long, 12-inch diameter corrugate tubing, culvert pipe. So this is smooth wall, you can see, and then they have, this is double wall, and then they have single wall. Single wall I think is better because the concrete will fill into these grooves, but I had a hard time finding this. I ended up getting a scrap piece off Facebook Marketplace. So mine's gonna be 5 foot long, and then I'm gonna have an axle pipe, and this will all make sense later on. This is a 1-inch steel pipe. And what I've got right now is this equals 5 foot. What I'm gonna do is, it's gonna have 3 sections, 1, 2, and 3, and that way they can all roll differently. When you turn, it'll make it easier to turn. So what I'm gonna do is, I have to cut that pipe as long as all 3 of these tubes as my axle pipe. And when I do that, I've got these cardboard cutouts. I gotta drill a hole in the center of them, and the axle is gonna fit in there. So it all makes sense in a couple minutes here. I'm just gonna go ahead and start getting all these fastened on. I'm gonna take these and screw them. I cut them, I just trace the pipe out. So it should perfectly match there, and I can drill the hole perfectly in there, and that pipe is gonna be held in there when I fill these with concrete. So I'm gonna go ahead, I need to cut this pipe down. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna go and screw these plastic pieces, or these plywood pieces, onto the plastic tube. So that's what we're gonna do here. I'll probably just time lapse some of this. It's pretty self-explanatory, I think, just because I wanna get this concrete set. So that's what we're gonna start doing, and I'll touch back when I get that done. Alrighty guys, real quick, what I'm doing, I really wanted to weld on some bolts and stuff onto the pipes. So in the concrete, it can't spin eventually, just in the concrete. But unfortunately, I don't have my welder here, so what I did is I wrapped some concrete wire around it really tight. And hopefully that'll help at least do something. So that pipe eventually doesn't spin in the concrete. But we'll see. That's what I'm doing on all 3 of these pipes, and then I'm just sliding it down in. Alrighty guys, this is the setup I got going on right now. So those pipes are in place, and they protrude past this by a 1/4 inch maybe. So I'm gonna go ahead and start filling these 3 with concrete. Okay guys, I got all these 3 poured. As you can see, it actually worked out pretty good. I just flushed up the outside on both ends, and when I flipped those over and I measured the inside, I mean, I was like 1/8 of an inch off on one of them. The other 2 were like pretty much perfect. So I'm pretty sure that'll be enough tolerance just to make sure that it's, you know, close enough to roll nicely. So I am going to take some measurements here and see if I can go build my frame. I went to a local steel yard, picked up a bunch of 2x2 angle steel, and I've got one main piece there I'm gonna use as my main shaft. So I will see you guys hopefully in a little bit. I'm gonna move locations, get my welder and plasma cutter set up, and probably start to try working on that frame. So it's a pretty simple design. I just got to make a couple measurements here. And yeah, that's my plan. So pretty self-explanatory. Got a piece of plywood cut in the bottom, screwed to the plastic, drill the hole in the center, cut the rod, probably a total of a 1/2 inch longer than the pipe. It's only up a 1/4 inch on either side. And that middle one, the end ones I left long the whole 1/2 inch through, which I think is fine. The middle one, I stacked 4 washers on the inside of that plywood just to build it up that, 1/4 inch in the 1/2 inch plywood to make sure that the center middle piece is got like a 1/4 to an 1/8 inch reveal on either side. That way it's got an even spacing on the middle. So that's the plan. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll see what happens when I take this apart. Hopefully everything's good. But I'm gonna go move location, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alrighty guys, new location, new project. We're building the frame. Right now I got a piece of 2x2 square tubing that's gonna be my main support. So it'll be, basically all I'm doing is it's gonna have this length to a T and then a foot piece on either side roughly, and the roller will be in there. And then I'm gonna do a cross brace on either side. So right now I'm gonna cut this down to 4 foot. And then I'm gonna cut my long piece here. And I believe my long piece is gonna be, my pipe's exactly 5 foot. I made the inside axle pipe like an 1/8 to a 1/4 inch long on each joint. So I'm thinking I'm gonna make my overall length piece 5 foot 1.5. It gives me, if the pipe sticks out a 1/2 inch on either side, there's an inch I lose, so that puts me at 5 foot 1. And you know what, I'm probably gonna go, just to be safe, I'm gonna go 5 foot 1 3/4. That'll give me enough room, and I can add washers then on the end to make sure that that center pipe stays tight together. If I make it too small, I'm screwed. So I'm gonna make it 5 foot 1 3/4, I think is what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that cut and this L piece cut, and then we'll touch back in. I'll show you what I got going on. Alrighty guys, so here's where we're at. Got my 4 foot long. I end up going 5 foot 2. Just to be safe. I got it centered and square. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take the leftover angle that I have, and I'm gonna weld on from here like this. This piece will get folded up, and it's gonna come back like probably, I don't know, probably 14, 16 inches just to be safe, so it's long. So when I bring it back, I have enough room to make sure that I can cut the holes in here and stuff. So I'm gonna get those welded on. Probably, again, like I said, probably, I don't know, probably 16 inches to be safe. And then I will add in some angle pieces going from like here to there. So that's what we're doing now. I'll get these cut and those welded on. Alrighty guys, a little bit later. Here is where we're at. We got everything tacked into place. Now, it's 5 foot 1 7/8 across. This is 4 feet long. These, I believe, were like 30 inches. I kind of just eyeballed to make a nice triangle here. And I matched that with 2 pieces. And I decided what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on Amazon or something and buy a 1 7/8 ball hitch adapter for that. And then that way it should work out by just sitting on the ball hitch. I think that'll just be a little bit easier than trying to weld up a contraption like on a hay trailer where it's got the 2, the hitch pin that goes straight through. So I think I'm just gonna do that. And that'll be the end of today's episode. Tomorrow, hopefully, or the next couple of days, I'll go and strip that concrete, get that axle cut to length and start working on all that. But in the meantime, the frame is built. Hopefully it works. And we'll see you guys in a couple of days when I get to the next project of starting to assemble this. And then I got some soybeans to plant, a couple other food plots and stuff. So I got a lot of updates I got to give you. But I am going to be welding little tabs on here. I'll show you what I mean in the next video. So we'll see you guys. Alrighty folks, we are back. Get my camera adjusted here. So I just got my form stripped off of this here, the roller. And as you can tell, I've got, these are fairly tight right here. I've got probably a 1/2 inch gap there. So I'm going to try and on the tops on the tops here, you can see I left the concrete like a 1/2 inch shy of the tube. That way I can cut some of that pipe down just to close that gap a little bit. And then I got my frame here, and there's my axle piece, and I picked up a tongue to go on the hitch of either the quad or the side-by-side. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can cut this, make it fit a little bit better, and then we'll come back and see if it'll mount on the frame I built. Fingers crossed. So I got some grinder work to do. I'm just gonna quick do that, and then I'll get back and show you what I did. Okay guys, fast forward, I don't know, probably at least an hour. It's now dark out, as you can tell. But I got everything pretty much fit. I just have one dilemma, and I will show you in a second. But here it is. I got that mounted and drilled. And what I might do is if I have to put a bigger hitch drop, I will. Everything works great. As you can tell, my pipe comes out that 1/2 inch. Let me get this to focus. And I used 2 big washers, and then I drilled a hole in here for a cotter pin on either side. That's my axle. And you can tell, like, I've got a pretty, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch gap there, and then this one's almost tight. And then I got the same deal here, those 2 washers, and I drilled a hole there. I need to put a cotter pin. This is what I screwed up on though. Frame is perfect. Everything was set right. This gap here, right now you can tell it's not bad. There's about a 1/4 inch. but there's a little bit of play in that axle with the pipe that goes through. And I had set it to have like a 1/2 inch to 5/8 inch gap here. But when I marked it out, I marked the center of my axle. In doing so, the hole saw is bigger, so it actually pushed my hole like a 1/4 inch that way when I should have marked the axle. I should have marked the edge of the axle and then measured over to make that reveal better. So when it kind of rubs a little bit since there's a little bit of play in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up my plasma cutter and I'm gonna rip a whole 1/4 inch off that whole plate steel, this angle iron, to give me a little bit of room. Eventually I'm gonna weld those little tabs on there that go into here like this. So it'll be a clean out. And since I didn't know the length, what to make these, I actually left them long. I've got enough room that I can probably weld a plate on the back across this whole back to support that. So cutting, 3/8 down that doesn't make me too concerned, because if I weld another angle on the back, it should strengthen that up. But I will definitely say 3 pieces at minimum. When I move it just right here, they all spin differently and it makes it a lot easier to turn. So that is something I would definitely recommend, is 1, 2, and 3. And remember, this is 5 foot. So what I'm probably gonna do that you won't see is rip that off. I gotta bring this frame back home, set up my plasma cutter and cut it again. And then you will probably see me out in the food plot if I have time, or I might just bring my plasma cutter here. I honestly might just do that because I don't feel like lugging this thing all over the place again. Anyways, that's where I'm at with this so far. I mean, I think it's perfect. It looks great. I think it's gonna work great. And I think right now I probably, if I had to use it, I probably could. I just have to get those cotter pins. And other than that, I probably could use it right now. Eventually I'll paint it after I weld those little clean outs on. But I'm trying to plant, it's probably like a 1/2 acre right up here by the house. I'm gonna plant some soybeans that I got from a buddy. And then I'm trying to get them in on Tuesday or Wednesday. Today's Monday. But that's my plan. So I will be doing this in the next couple of days. So I'll probably see you guys back here. But so far, it's worked great. I'm excited. This thing's sweet. Should work awesome. We'll see you guys soon. See ya. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's 2 days later, I believe, since I saw you last when we spread and seeded this food plot here, or what is going to be potentially a food plot. This is an old riding ring and it had stone dust in it, but over the years, all the weeds and stuff, there's kind of some topsoil in there now that you can see. So I just gave it a shot. A buddy hooked me up with a bag of soybeans, so I threw them down here, and that roller, I just wanted to go through quick and just show you after the fact. We did get a nice shot of rain last night, but you can see these lines in the soil, and that Cultipacker worked great putting those lines in the soil. It packs the soil down over the seed bed, and it just worked out really good. I'm really happy with the way that it worked out. So I paid $50 for the tube on Facebook Marketplace. If you're lucky, you can find one for free somewhere. And mine was a 12-inch tube by 5 foot long. Then I went to a local steel yard, got some scrap pieces of steel, and used my Yes welder from Amazon to weld it all up. And I have a plasma cutter. I believe that was a Best Arc. And that's probably one of my favorite tools right now is the plasma cutter. It's so nice. But yeah, it was just a fun little project to do. I'm glad I got it in before all this rain came, and we might actually get some more rain if you see here. But I'm gonna go ahead and switch gears. Just watered some trees that I planted probably about a month ago now. We'll have to show you them. I got a bunch of persimmons and chestnut, Dunstan chestnut trees planted. So That being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you watching, and there's gonna be a lot of content this fall from last year, so stay tuned. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.